Hey, welcome to Following Science, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of scientific discoveries and their real world applications. I'm your host, Rutu Raparo, and today we're going to be exploring the cutting edge field of nanotechnology in biology. From medical breakthroughs to environmental applications, nanotechnology is revolutionizing how we understand and interact with biological systems. So let's dive right in. First, let's talk about what nanotechnology is. Nanotechnology involves manipulating matter at the nanoscale between 1 and 100 nanometers. At this scale, materials exhibit unique properties that can be tailored for specific applications in biology. Let's talk about some of these applications, starting with targeted drug delivery. One of nanotechnology's most promising applications in biology is targeted drug delivery. By using nanoparticles, scientists can deliver medications directly to disease cells while minimizing damage to healthy tissue. Nanoparticles used in targeted drug delivery are designed with precision. They can be functionalized with molecules that recognize and bind to specific proteins or receptors on the surface of target cells. Once the nanoparticles reach their target, they release their payload, chemotherapy drugs for instance, directly into the cancerous tissue. This targeted approach reduces exposure to healthy tissues and minimizes a lot of side effects. An advantage of this is that targeted drug delivery not only enhances the effectiveness of treatment by concentrating drugs where they're needed, but also reduces systematic toxicity and improves patient outcomes. Now, researchers at MIT have been developing nanoparticles that target cancer cells based on specific proteins so that they can deliver chemotherapy directly to tumors with reduced side effects compared to traditional treatments, which don't necessarily use nanotech. Another way to use nanotechnology is using it in cellular biology. Nanotechnology has revolutionized our understanding of cellular biology by helping us study and manipulate biological processes at the nanoscale. Techniques such as atomic force microscopy and scanning tunneling microscopy allows researchers to visualize cellular structures and interactions with unprecedented detail. Now, let's understand this stuff in a little more detail, starting with atomic force microscopy, or AFM, which is a powerful tool that allows researchers to visualize and manipulate biological samples at the nanoscale. Now, unlike traditional optical microscopes, which use light to image samples, AFM operates by scanning a sharp tip over the surface of a sample. The tip interacts with the surface forces, such as van der Waals forces, to create detailed images. Now, AFM can achieve resolutions down to the atomic level and can provide us with three-dimensional images of biological molecules, cells, and tissues with unprecedented detail. Now, an example of this in a little more action is just let's imagine using AFM to study the structure of a single protein molecule or to map out the topography of a cell membrane. Because this is exactly what researchers at institutions like Stanford University are doing. They're using AFM to study the mechanical properties of cells, such as their stiffness and elasticity. Now, by probing the surface with nanoscale precision, AFM reveals insights into how cells respond to their environment and interact with neighboring cells. Now, AFM has been instrumental in advancing our understanding of cellular mechanics, which is crucial for fields ranging from cancer research to tissue engineering. Now, let's talk about scanning tunnel microscopy, or STM. STM is another groundbreaking technique in nanoscale imaging, particularly useful for studying surfaces at the atomic level. Now, STM works by scanning a sharp metal tip very close to the surface of the sample. A small bias voltage is applied between the tip and the sample, allowing electrons to tunnel between them. The resulting tunneling current provides information about the sample's topography and electronic structure. In biology, STM has been used to visualize individual molecules and study their interactions with surfaces. It has contributed to our understanding of molecular self-assembly, protein folding dynamics, and interactions at the cellular level. Now, in genetic engineering is another way that nanotechnology is used. Now, nanotechnology plays a crucial role here because it helps in precise editing and manipulation of DNA and RNA molecules. Nanotech particles serve as efficient carriers for gene editing tools like CRISPR-Cas9 enabling targeted modifications of genetic sequences with unprecedented accuracy. Now, researchers at Harvard University are using nanotechnology to enhance crop yields by editing plant genomes to improve resistance to diseases and environmental stresses, which just shows the impact that nanotechnology can have in various segments, especially gene editing. Now, another segment where nanotech is super useful is neurobiology. Nanotech is transforming neurobiology by offering new tools to study and treat neurological disorders. Nanomaterials are used to develop neural interfaces that can monitor brain activity and stimulate neurons, offering hope for restoring lost functions in patients with brain injuries or diseases. An example of this is the BrainGate project, which has developed nanoscale electrodes that decode neural signals and enable paralyzed individuals to control robotic limbs with just their thoughts, which shows how significant of an impact nanotech can have on our day-to-day life, especially if it's helping regain lost functions in different patients. Another way nanotech is super useful is environmental applications. Beyond medicine, nanotech holds promise for addressing environmental challenges such as pollution and water purification. Nanotechnology based materials like carbon nanotubes and graphene are being used to develop efficient water purification systems so that they can remove contaminants and improve water quality. Now, this is super helpful because as researchers in South Africa are saying that they're exploring nanotechnology-based filters to improve clean drinking water in regions with limited access to safe water sources. This could decrease a lot of diseases that are caused by bad water. It can make sure people that live there are healthier so it can increase life expectancy. So overall, nanotech can be really helpful in ways that people might have not even thought of, or you might not have even known of before, because not only is it helping on like the biological level, but it's also helping just increase life expectancy by making life more convenient or just making it a better place to be. But let's talk about some of the ethical considerations and future directions of nanotechnology now. As nanotech advances, ethical considerations become increasingly important in ensuring its safe and responsible use. Experts are discussing issues such as the potential health risk of nanomaterial exposure, regulatory frameworks for nanotech applications, and equitable access to nanotech based treatments. For example, organizations like National Nanotech Initiative are working to establish guidelines and regulations to promote the ethical use of nanotech across various fields. Now, nanotech in biology is not just a scientific marvel, it's a transformative force with the potential to revolutionize medicine, agriculture, and environmental conservation. As we continue to explore and harness its capabilities, we can expect even more remarkable advances that will benefit humanity from nanotech. Now, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to thank you all for joining me on this deep dive into nanotech in biology on Following Science. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. It helps me bring you guys even more better content. Stay curious and keep following science. This is your host, Rucha Raparo, signing off.